You know, I travel around a fair bit. Been doing
I
this
think we know that.
tour with Brad
It was
Oaks.
about 2 years ago I said you should have make a reality show about who you go with. Or you do a podcast about it.
The debrief.
The debrief, which is thoroughly enjoyable. You get to hear you before the gig and you get to hear you after the gig. So you get both sides of the coin.
Quality.
It is. It's a great journey. And people have, just while I'm on that, you do actually drive while you do that?
Yeah.
So you have one hand on a microphone and one hand on the steering wheel.
Well, we have clip-on mics too, though, sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I know most comedians are fine, but, like, for example, Arch Barker got very worried we were going to crash. Fair enough.
I don't think it's legal to do a podcast.
No, it's not
while
legal.
driving.
Absolutely not legal. But
Anyway.
it was in, what am I doing? Mount Isa in Cairns soon. That'll be great. I love Mount Isa.
You're doing theatre with Brad Oaks?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not always full, but we have fun.
You keep on saying that. But, keep at it.
Exactly. They'll get full one day. Some of them are full. Anyway, we did Portland the other day, which is at the bottom of Victoria near Warrnambool, near the South Australian border.
Never been there, but it's a beautiful part of the world.
Oh, it's great, but it's so funny. So Billy Stiles was also on. There were three of us on that night, and it was at a community arts centre. It was like a pub. It was going off, like on a Friday night, and most of them worked at the port. There's a huge port there, a deep sea
the actual port.
The actual port.
Yeah.
And so I come on, and there's a guy sitting at the front. I'm like, what do you do, mate? And they're all just yelling out about him. He's a counsellor. So he's like a local counsellor.
So they're heckling him.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm like, all right. If there's ever a counsellor, I always say, listen, guys, in the break, we're going to form a queue. Anyone's got any problems with potholes, parking fines, garbage collection, we'll form a queue up here and we're going to speak to a counsellor. And he's like, don't talk to me, talk to this guy. And I kept pointing this guy. And because I said, well, so what do you do? He goes, I work in the port. He goes, I'm an engineer. I go, well, that's a bit boring. You know what I mean? He goes, talk to this guy. He's in the port too. And so I go to this guy, what do you do, mate? And there was a pause and he goes, I'm the tug master. Comedy gold for the next 10 minutes from the tug master.
Give me your edited highlights.
Well, I said, so how did you get into tug mastering? When you were 14, did you discover something you really liked and you just went, this is for me?
What are you doing in that room, Johnny? I'm getting a future career. That's what I'm doing.
Well, I think I said that. The tug mastery. And then I said to another guy, what do you do? He goes, I work under the tug master. So everything came back to the tug master. Oh, gee, it was good.
When he said it, did he know he was going to get it? Did he get a big laugh?
Yes, he got a big laugh.
And the real job is that where he would be a pilot to direct the boats in so they don't hit the bottom.
He's in a tugboat.
And then he masturbates out on the deck. So that's why they call you the tug master. You really are the master of tugging.
How many people involved in this tugging, mate? How big's your crew? I think I said that. Yeah. I then actually sang him Scruffy the Little Tugboat. You know that song? Scruffy was a huffy little tugboat down to Portland where the river meets the sea. You know that song? Because he's had enough for this. I know we've had complaints about too much singing. Bound to take the piss down to where the river meets the sea. Toot. And I said, and then that song ends on, because the bathtub will be big enough for me. And I said, are you in the bath, tug master, at night? And your wife's going, get out of the bath. Enough tugging at work.
All I'll say is,
comedy gold.
When you're of younger years, and I can't speak for the other gender, I think everyone thinks they're a tug master. Yeah. I think everyone goes, geez, I'm good at that.
Well, as I said, you're like Harry Potter. You discovered something magical when you were 14. I think what happens is that, generally speaking, in your 20s, you're quite active, because you meet the love of your life, Glenn. You're all young. You're discovering each other. You're making love a lot. Then you have kids. You get a bit older.
Wow, this is a really... this is on the poster for the movie.
Things aren't a priority anymore, Glenn. They're not a priority.
So you have to find solace. You have to find...
I think, what's his name, Howard Stern talks about in his book, you return to it. That's what he says in the book.
Oh, really? You return to it with an embrace.
I'm not speaking personally. I'm just speaking about Howard Stern.
Well, you do go on tour a lot. Why do you go on tour? A lot of hotel rooms are
by myself. That's right. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's all part of life. I know a guy that we both know who, when he discovered it when he was 15, he took a week off school.
Now, hang on. Was that the note that he got from the parents? He had to have a week off because he
took a week off school. But anyway, it's natural.
Here's my theory, because it's getting too unsavory, that it keeps you young because you psychologically your body goes, oh, you still want to
procreate.
Yes. So
and also
therefore, I need to keep you healthy and I need to keep you young so you can run through the jungle and have sex with another monkey or whatever it is. Well, hang on. So therefore, if you are, people may masturbate while they're listening to this show.
Oh, God, I hope not.
And if you are, and if you do, don't feel guilty.
Maybe we should play the music. It's getting very, I don't know, sex education with
But
Glenn.
you brought up tugging. And,
Yeah, well, I was talking about bloody driving a tugboat and you make it all grubby.
Oh, what are other words for masturbating? Oh, no, come on.
Oh, God, play the music, Sam.
Welcome to Somehow Related Now. Please welcome your hosts Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Well, welcome to the podcast. Somehow related.
Do you reckon he puts Tug Master on his passport? He probably does. And when he goes through customs, they must have a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, boat pilot, boat captain.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you work up from a tugboat to a cruise ship, or what are you doing? The container ships? I forgot to ask him about that. What is the career path for a tug master?
Yeah,
and was he? Of course I said, and who's his able seaman next to him? Of course.
And then you get him to say something, and then you go, "Come again."
Bang, Captain. Yeah. Pugwash. I should have brought up that too. All right. So we get two topics. We've got to work out how they're related. I'm sure it'll have nothing to do with this.
Yeah. And if you're still listening after that very inappropriate discussion at the top of the show, apologies. But two topics that have nothing to do with what we were just talking about.
Hopefully not.
Sorry, Sam.
What are the, sorry, I apologise, Sam. What are the topics, Sam?
A hangover and rope.
Oh, thank God. Well, she didn't put anything rude in.
No, she didn't.
So a hangover and rope.
A hangover.
When was the last time you were hungover?
Well, I don't drink anymore. Not since
I
the
can't
incident.
remember. That incident was like a TAC ad where the cop said, "You do realise the child has died." You know that terrible ad?
Oh, you do realise the child has died.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And so it should be like that.
What an acting job.
I did get picked up the other day because I told the story where I was going to help Selena with the flat tyre, and I thought, well, I want to have fresh breath.
Oh, that's
I
right.
squirted some fresh breath in my mouth, and then I got pulled over for a breathalyzer. And when you put that stuff on, don't be freshening your breath for the breathalyzer.
No Listerine.
Puts you straight over the limit. Straight over. I had to wait 20 minutes.
Wow, that's incredible.
Half an hour for it to go down.
Did you have to go sit in that car spot where they make you sit?
I did the walk of shame past all the other cars. Hey, what's my boy? Hey.
Oh, piss it.
Uncle Arthur's been on the piss. And get up into the caravan and then chat with one guy who'd just come to the country. And one guy said, "Oh, do you know who this bloke is?" And I'm going, "It doesn't matter who I am." He goes, "I don't know who he is. Who is he?" I'm going, "Don't discuss in front of me.
Yeah.
Just pull out my file." And then he went through my file.
It's a cop.
Yeah. And you go, "Oh, you had a couple over there. You had one there. Oh, there's a time you were speeding and you were... Oh, geez."
Well, I can't remember when I was hungover. So, what about the 80s?
So I remember being hungover back in the 80s and
Bad
just
feeling.
getting up in the morning going at the insurance company and went, "I don't feel like going into work on time. I was going to go in late."
I remember just waking up, taking an aspirin and drinking a whole lot of water, just going back to bed.
Yeah, what do they call that? Hair of the dog?
Hair of the dog.
A hangover cure.
Hair of the dog is where you get back on the booze, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. These two non-drinkers talking about drinking.
I mean, I drink, but not a lot. I'd like a beer, but
yeah, no, I'm the same. I'll have a 3.5.
Oh, 3.5. Oh, you have a zero beer?
No, I've never drink. I had some the other day. It was pointless.
Yeah,
and it was nothingness. The thing is, you do wake in the middle of the night and drink a lot of water, don't you? Because you're dehydrated.
But I mean, I don't know. We know a lot of big drinkers in the comedy world.
Yes.
There's a lot of them. I don't know how they cope at our age.
Well, I go away with some people who drink a lot, and I watch them drink, and I go, I take incredible. And then the next day they get up and they go, "I'm a bit dusty," and I go, "Wow."
And that's it. You get used to it though. You get used to it.
Yeah, your body gets alcohol fit, I would imagine. What is alcohol? It's a toxin.
What's a chemical you put in your body to make you feel good? It's personality juice, as we call it.
Yeah,
Makes people happier.
Lowers your inhibitions, doesn't it?
Makes people happier than depressed.
What do you get with a hangover? You get nausea, you get a headache,
vomiting if it's really bad.
If it's really bad, you drink a lot of water to try to dehydrate, to get your fluids back.
The runs, maybe. I don't know.
And then, like go to the. Do you ever like go to the toilet? No, you just sleep through it. It's not a healthy thing to do, to drink to excess.
No.
But, and then people tend to eat high carb.
Like Macca's or something the next day.
Yeah. Because they need the energy lift, don't they?
Yeah.
I spoke to someone the other day. He said his hangover went on for 3 days.
Must have been a big session. Coca-Cola, drink some soft drink or some sugar, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, and of course, when you think of hangover, you think of those movies. You've seen the Hangover movies, the first one. It's quite funny.
No, is that where
Zach Galifianakis has got the baby in the carrier thing, the papoose or whatever, and he's walking around with the baby?
I haven't seen it, but it was very popular.
Oh,
Mike
huge.
Tyson and a tiger.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's in
punched
it.
someone in it.
Yeah. So the thing is, they wake up and they don't know what they've done the night before.
So they've all got that whole
drunk
thing
and they're all
called,
hungover.
Where you drink so much you black out, but you're still conscious. So your brain just has amnesia.
Yeah, and they've got a baby. They don't know how they got the baby.
Jeez, it's not sending a good message, really, is it?
Good movie though. Funny movie.
What are the movies about drinking too much? Oh, Star is Born.
Oh,
the remake.
He wheezes himself, doesn't he?
I just thought it was his. People loved that movie, but me, old cynical me, I just made me laugh when he got up on stage and wet his pants.
Lady Gaga, wasn't it?
Well, it was just like Lady Gaga. Look, I guess it was pretty good, but I couldn't help but think that he was.
I haven't seen
just
it.
putting on. You've never seen it. Just put on a voice like that.
No.
He was trying to be sexy and.
What about my
smoker's voice?
Oh, what about the Way Back? Have you seen The Way Back?
No.
The Long Way Back, the way with Ben Affleck.
Most of them are pretty depressing.
Oh, but yeah, Ben Affleck's like a former basketball star or coach, and he's an alcoholic, and he's working in construction, but still on the booze. And then they get him to coach the high school bar. It's a great movie, the high school basketball team. But he just goes to the same bar every night, gets blind. They have to drive his car home.
And what was the point of the movie? Because there was one called Leaving Las Vegas, I think.
Yeah, with Nicolas Cage.
And basically, he starts drinking at the start of the movie, and then bit by bit, he just keeps on going in, falling down.
No, Ben Affleck gives up the grog.
Oh, so then we get...
For the basketball team, Glenn. For the kids, man.
So
for the
that's
kids.
Good. So he realises that he's got a problem.
Yeah. It's
and
good.
then
it's
he
good
goes,
movie.
I give up for... So it come out... But it was Leaving Las Vegas. I think he's died at the end. Didn't he? Or something. It was just tragic.
Yeah.
The Hangover. Once Were Warriors.
Oh, yeah. The long necks. Hey, bro.
That was...
What you doing? There's always the edge
that
of...
upset my day, that film.
Oh, same here. There's always
Domestic
that hint of edge of violence. They're always getting in fights. You bro. Hey, bro.
Yeah. Great, a great film, albeit fairly awful and tragic. But, so I dare say there are people.
Plenty of Irish movies. They just drink all the time. Yeah, when you go to Ireland, they just go to the pub all the time in Ireland. It's like their lounge room. We'll have a meeting. We'll have it in the pub.
It's such a weird thing that something as toxic as alcohol is such a given in modern society, and it still is. And you even I talk to my doctor, and he goes, "I know I drink red wine, and I'm not giving it up." Whereas, I mean. No, anyway, because they always red wine. It's got polyphenols or something in it, and so therefore, like dark chocolate, it's going to be good for you. And you go, you know what? At the end of the day, it's toxic.
Yeah,
and it's
chemical.
Your level, your body doesn't like it. But they say there's like the J curve that a person who has a small amount of drink will be better than the.
Oh yeah, you read that.
Yeah, a small amount of alcohol is better than the person that has no alcohol at all.
I reckon that's been put out by the wine companies.
I reckon it is too.
Yeah,
you know, it's just it doesn't.
One cigarette a day is fine.
Yeah. So
but you know what? People enjoy alcohol. It's legal, so it's not. You know. You're not hurting anyone unless you get drunk and crash your car and then hurt someone.
But then you have marijuana, which also does wonderful things for you if you need it, and it's illegal. It still is, isn't it?
Yeah, you can get like prescription marijuana now and edibles and stuff.
It just seems like the alcohol that is freely available.
Just makes you hungry.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. But you don't remember the last time you had a hangover?
No, probably the 80s.
Either.
I reckon. I'm not a big drinker. As my mum said, so there were 4 boys in the family, me and my twin brother Glenn, and then Mark and Trevor. And she said, "You going to Glenn and David's room? Smell of nothing Sunday morning. Nothing. You going to those two? Oh, stinks. Yeah. Alcohol, ciggies, you know, drugs."
They were boys, weren't they?
Yeah, they were drinking.
Whereas you were out doing art and...
No, I was just having milkshakes and hamburgers.
And hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Don't worry about that, but I just never saw the appeal of alcohol. Even though I like a beer, but I just never saw the appeal of getting drunk.
And again, I'm not a drinker, but do you think people are drinking going, oh, I better ease up because I'm going to end up with a hangover, or do they just go bang?
No, I reckon people get used to it for a start. They get a tolerance to alcohol, and so they can drink. Whereas me or you would drink 2 or 3 pots and we'd feel a bit woozy. They can have like 8 and feel fine, you know.
And and there's also that thing of people changing personality once they have alcohol.
Yes, and
some
sometimes
people can get lovable, some people can get a little punchy, some people get aggressive.
Intense? People get intense?
Here's what I reckon, is that alcohol lowers your inhibition. So therefore, if you're harbouring anger, it'll just come out.
Yeah.
Or if you're a person that is sort of reserved and maybe avoidant, maybe you become more loving when you let go a little bit. So maybe it's a good thing for those people. But but in the wrong hands.
But you just don't want to be around. As Trevor Marmalade once said, nothing good happens at closing time in pubs because people get all aggro.
Yeah.
What are you looking at? Oh,
yeah, stopping me from doing what I love doing. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about rope.
It's a bit too tragic.
Let's talk about rope. Let's go. I don't know what we're going to say about rope. Rope.
What do you mean you don't know what?
When was the last time I know what you're going to say. You were a scout.
Yeah, you were a scout. So do you know everything about rope?
How old was I when I quit scouts? Hughesy used to ask me this question on radio.
How old were you when you quit scouts?
23.
I thought you were going to say 17, because that's when I quit, around about 16 or 17, I think.
Well,
I didn't quit.
Okay.
Do the Boy Scouts still exist?
Yeah, of course they do. They're booming. You know where they're booming in the developed worlds too, like Africa and places like that. But also, there's girls in scouts now. So yeah, there's a scout at the end of my street. Absolutely, still going strong. Because something to do with the kids on a Tuesday night. Send them down the scout hall. Hang out with a bloke with a beard.
Let's be honest. No, got to be honest. You're with other people. You're doing activities. You're learning things. You're playing games.
Yeah, a lot of only children too. So that's good for the only children. They get mixed with other kids. You learn the camping, canoeing, that kind of stuff.
So you would say it was a big benefit. So your kids, it's a bit like the Masonic Lodge. Would you get your kids that going down? I'm not joining the Boy Scouts.
They're not in the Scouts, but my brother's kids were in the Scouts. Yeah, absolutely.
So
my brother's kids are leaders now in Switzerland.
Do you still use the knots you learnt in Scouts?
Yeah, occasionally. Yep. I was going to say, when was the last time you handled a piece of rope? Because I've just remembered when I last handled a bit of rope. When was the last time you handled a bit of rope?
Well, there's quite a few scenarios where I'm in the realm of handling rope.
But you didn't handle rope?
No. Well, down the gym, there's one where you can.
Oh, well, that's fair enough. Do you use the rope in the gym?
No, I don't do that one because it's a bit hard on my back. But I do see people in that class getting the rope and doing it, whizzing it up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they did that one.
And when I tie my boards on the roof of the car.
Is it with rope?
Well, I don't use rope. It used to be bungee cord, and now it's straps. But
it's not rope, is it?
Okay. Well, are you going to say the last time you used it, you tied someone up? Is that what you did?
No.
Do you know the last time you used rope?
Yeah. When our back fence in that recent wind episode we had, side fence fell over.
Yeah.
I tied the back gate up with some rope.
Round turn 2 half hitches, bang. Round turn 2 half hitches. Do you know that one?
Yeah, no, reef knot, the classic reef knot.
Yeah, well,
a reef knot's like when you tie your shoelaces.
Right over left, left over right.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and then it has a nice
Yeah, it looks. Yeah, it's often used in scouts, badges and stuff. The reef knot.
Reef knot.
It's a good one. It's the only one I can do.
Can't you do round turn 2 half hitches? Round turn 2 is great for if you're tying a bit of rope to a horizontal bit of wood. And you want to have so you go round twice and then do 2 half hitches.
So scouts are just getting us ready for bondage. You know what I mean? Because if you were like an SMM mistress or whatever they're called, they'd have to know their knots, wouldn't they?
Well, they would. I mean, I suppose
they'd learn them off the internet.
Bowline.
Bowline, that's a classic. Yes.
Now a bowline, the way I learned it was you had a rabbit hole in a tree.
That's it.
And the rabbit came up the rabbit hole, around the tree. Back down the rabbit hole, and then did something else down while it was down the rabbit hole, I think. Jeez. And then you pulled it, and it was a bowline.
Do you reckon rope would have dropped off in sales, though, wouldn't it? I mean, rope would have been big in the 20s and stuff, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, you used rope for everything. I mean, if you wanted to get a cupboard and put on the roof of your car,
rope.
Just throw a bit of rope around it. Or if you wanted to, like you said, fix the fence, gaffer tape has taken over a lot of what rope.
And what you mentioned, Ocky straps.
Ocky straps, yeah.
You know, there's an eye doctor across the road from me, and I said, "What is the number one injury?"
Oh no,
Ocky straps. in men, older men.
Hockey straps coming up and the thing hitting you, whacking you right in the eye.
Yeah. He's seen a lot of hockey strap injuries over the years.
Because I met a guy who was an ear, nose and throat guy at a party, and he said, watch out putting silicone in your ears when you go swimming because the silicone breaks off. Just what I wanted the topic of the meeting.
Why do they have to specialise in ear, was it?
Ear, nose and throat.
Why can't they just do nose? Why can't you just be a nose guy? Why does it be ears as well? You know what I mean? If I was a doctor, I would just want to specialise on, like if you do, say, downstairs, you're just doing like, there's whole doctors that do proctologists, which is just bums, isn't it?
Well,
you don't have to do the other you don't have to do genitals as well, do you? You're like a dick bum and thingo doctor, are you?
Well,
you don't go to the dick and bum and balls hospital, do you?
It's a package deal.
What?
Ear, nose, and throat. 3 for 1. It's a 3 for 1.
Ear, nose, and throat doctors.
Yeah, well, it's all the same piping.
I know, but you can say the same for genitals. So
you had the problem with your nose, and then you want to have a bit of knowledge on the throat because when you're dealing with the nose, that you don't want to go, I'm finished with the nose, bring the throat guy in now. You don't have to do that because we're going down the throat. I know about that. I came to school that day. That silicon.
Oh, the earplugs, right.
Earplugs. Don't put those in your ear because bits of silicon break off.
And also bits of paper. People put bits of paper in there.
It breaks off and goes right in. And and it's not like you can get it out with a pair of tweezers. You've got to go under to get it out, to go right into your ear.
What's that thing, though? What's the biggest thing I should put in my ear? Your elbow. Because you don't want to put any like sticks in there or cotton buds.
I use those every day.
Be careful.
What'll happen?
Careful. They're very delicate, your ears. Be very careful.
Yeah, you're right, actually. So, reef knots, bone lines, half hitches, clove hitches. When you do your shoes up, you're doing...
Do you do the double knot?
Most of the time.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
So you would never have to taught a kid how to do their shoelaces. It's quite complicated because you know how to do it yourself, but to teach someone, it's really weird because you do that off.
Yeah, you learn your own way.
Dude,
and I must admit, that was a big day when you could tie your own shoes.
Oh, absolutely.
But nowadays, it's all Velcro.
No, not with
kids' shoes it is, isn't it?
When they're really little, but when they get a bit older,
they go back to the laces, do they?
Well, it depends on the shoes. But if you're with runners and stuff, they still laces. I reckon a lot of them. You still got to learn how to do. It's like telling time. You still got to learn how to do it.
I think it's important. It's like if you go for your license, get your manual license.
No one gets their manual license anymore.
Don't they?
No.
Okay.
But then what happens is you go to Europe and you get a job, and if you're driving around. One of my friends got a job like on a movie or something. They go, you're the runner. Yeah, no, as he gets in the car, there's a gear stick.
Yeah,
it's like,
you're
what
the
the fuck? What's this?
Yeah, you wish you'd... Mind you, having to do it backhanded. I don't know how I'd do that on the other side of the world. Okay, skipping rope.
Oh, yeah, at school. Well,
the girls were good at that, weren't they?
And they used to do that 5 to 10, they used to sing those songs.
Yeah.
So the monkey got broke and we all went to heaven in a little rowboat, clap, clap, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's good. I've never heard
that's
that
a song. That's a song there. But that's like they used to have
But
those
they would
songs.
then go... And then
can I get in? Can I...
The thing with the hands waiting for and you're in.
Yes.
Jumping. And then you see online they'll have 2 ropes going.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's incredible.
It's very good for your fitness.
And skipping rope with boxing and stuff like that.
Rocky.
When you're down the gym.
Do you do that?
That's really hard.
I used to be able to do it.
What, you used to do? Really?
Well, yeah, skip rope years ago.
Back when you were boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lightweight.
Boating. What about boating?
Yeah, yachting.
I was on the Sydney ferry not that long ago, and the rope's still very big.
Oh, yeah.
Big with the ropes. Nothing. There's no technology there. It's still a bit of rope and a bit of wood. And
love that. Old school, and the guy has to, when it pulls in, the guy has to go.
And he's got to pull it in.
Yes. I was on a boat on the Sydney Harbour the other day doing a gig, and it was still old school. They had the rope pull up.
So I can't imagine that changing, really. Yeah.
I did this gig on one of those. See, in Sydney Harbour, they have these sort of function boats. It's just like a big glass box that floats out, and you go on there. And the gigs are always challenging because you're on a boat.
Yeah, good on you.
And the first guy goes on, and the motor's just like this, blah 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 blah. He's like, hey, I went down the shop the other day, blah 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 blah. And so I go, this guy's going for about 20 minutes, and I think I just go stick my head into the captain's thing.
Can you turn that off?
And I said they're all Russian. I said, excuse me, can you turn the engine off? He goes, yeah, sure, no problem. Turned off, was so much better.
No problem.
That was great because you know what happened? I got on, I had to do half an hour. Got to about 28 minutes. This water taxi pulled up. Everyone could see it pulling up. The guy reached out and banged on the glass and went, "Water taxi for Dave O'Neill?" And I said, "That's me gone, guys."
You walked off.
Oh, it was the best.
Oh, who was that man? Who was that funny man? He just got onto his, like Batman, got on his boat and, that is so good. One of the great exits.
One of my other friends, though, had a bad exit. He did a boat gig and it was pretty bad. And he got the water taxi and he got on the water taxi and it sort of took off and guys came out smoking and one of them yelled out, "There goes a very average comedian."
No.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
God, people are cruel, aren't they?
People are cruel.
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing a gig on a boat and it rocks too. The boat starts to rock a bit.
What about lassoing?
Oh, yeah, that's skill.
That is real skill.
Yeah.
What they call that, quarter horsing, where you, because I actually did that. John Farnham asked me to
That's right.
do the celebrity quarter horse event, and
Can't say no to Farnsey.
No, and I did that to go to quarter horse training, and
Jesus.
I don't give up much, but I actually had to give up because apparently I wasn't hard enough on the horses, and I was so insipid with my horse riding that they had to retrain the horse after I got off it.
Jeez, they gave you a Shetland pony next time.
Because you have to be really harsh and strong with the horse, because otherwise it goes, "You're an idiot, you don't know what you're doing." And the horse gets confused, because a quarter horse will actually do all the moves. You just got to hang on, and then you got to pull the... Well, I didn't even get to the rope part.
Yeah.
So, what about tug of war?
Oh, great fun. That's very Scouts, tug of war.
Tug of war.
As I think we learned on this podcast, it was an Olympic event for a while, tug of war.
Remember how your hands got when you pulled on that rope?
But also, you wanted that really fat kid as the anchor at school.
He
Not
put
the
it
fat
around
kid.
He got to put it around his waist. Put it around his waist. You won again. You got a fat kid. That's not fair. You had 3 fat kids.
I don't want to bring anyone down, but what are nooses? You think of nooses and hanging like the French Revolution and...
Oh, you do too.
Awful.
Yeah.
And the hanging here in Melbourne,
Was the last person to be put to death through capital punishment.
Peter Ryan? Was it?
Ronald Ryan.
Ronald Ryan, that's it.
For the
Ronald
shooting
Ryan.
that some say allegedly didn't happen, but the
Well, Ned Kelly was hung, and you can still go. It's a jail where you can still go and have a look and see the bit of wood where he's hung from.
The old Melbourne jail.
Yeah, that's a scary place.
Yeah, it is a scary place.
Scary. I did a gig there once, and I said to the guy,
Of course you did.
"Of course, I did a gig there." Hey, and I said to the guy, what was he, like the caretaker or something?
Yeah.
Any weird stuff. He goes, "Yeah, sometimes I'm here at night and you hear noises and stuff."
Yeah.
He goes, "There's no one there, but you can hear people talking." Or
Really?
Oh, freak me out.
Oh, really? That did freak you out?
Well, they're always in radio. Hey, let's stay overnight in the Melbourne jail. It's just
Well, you can do it at Pentridge now. You can go and stay at Pentridge
no
overnight.
thanks.
No thanks.
No thanks.
Yeah,
Scary places.
I told the story before, but I took Dad there once to the Pentridge, and I got recognised, and one of the security guards said, I'll take you round. And then we're in the middle of this room, and it's full of people, and then the security guard goes to me, "See that bloke over there? Murderer. That guy over there. Bank robber. That guy over there."
So they were taking their families on tours.
Taking their families to see this is what my room was like.
Yeah.
Not that it's bad to be around criminal. Well, you just, if they, good luck to anyone who's done their time and done it appropriately. But
got any jokes about rope? Was it Jimmy Carr did? It's an old joke, but he does it in his stand-up about, I needed Viagra because it was like, before that it was like trying to play billiards with a bit of rope.
Oh, that's good.
That's an old joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I know any
rope
jokes about
joke?
No. I did sort of a stand-up routine about when you pulled your pajama cord out of your pajamas.
Yes.
And then what? How?
And how you had to get it back in, and Mum would get the needle.
Yeah.
Try and get it back out.
And I think I made a sexual reference. A similar joke, really. It was like having sex was blah blah blah. Like the time that I pulled my pajama cord out and I had to zip it back around.
Yes.
You had to sort of.
Oh, it's tough.
Work it back.
It's tough.
What we haven't really talked about is, and I have no experience in this area, but some people derive a sexual satisfaction from tying people up.
Oh, yeah, you suggested that at the start to me.
Did I?
Yeah, but that's, what makes a person do that, want to do that?
I think some people want to be controlled, and some people like controlling.
Controlling.
Yeah, so therefore,
Sure.
if you tie me up and do what with me, and I pretend that I don't want you to do it, but I really want you to do it. Give us a call, by the way. If
30-24-10.
Yeah.
1300
if you do like being tied up. But cowboys and Indians,
Oh, they would tie people up.
they would tie them to a pole with their hands behind the pole, wouldn't they? And then they would managed to get
I know. In movies, they're always working their way out, aren't they?
Because if you try to, unless you got the right rope, tying, because now they use pull tie, don't they? Those plastic
Oh,
things.
they use those, yeah.
Tying someone up with rope is really hard. Not that I've ever done it. But I imagine that it's kind of like, oh, what do I do now? Oh, I do a double knot and then do another double knot. And you're going, that's just so piss easy to get out of, Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah. Did we talk about where rope came from? What would rope have been? The Egyptians? Twine. It would have been.
Would have been from the jungles.
Oh, yes. It would have been like Tarzan.
Vines. The Aztecs.
Would have been.
The Incas.
Yeah, it would have been. They would have got a bit of grass.
There was rope going around for years.
If you wanted some rope now, where would you go? You go to Bunnings.
Hardware shop. Yeah.
Yep.
Hardware shop. Rope section. Get the rope section. Down there on the left, mate.
What sort of level? What sort of... You go thick, thin, twine.
Look at the kind of nylon-y rope now. That nylon kind of rope. So
Yeah. Okay.
water resistant.
I'm just trying to think if I'm sure there's something else we haven't.
Plenty of rope talk. Now, what can we have as thinking music?
We could have a...
Play one of those old school VB ads for hangovers.
Well, there's a couple. There was one. This
John
is
Mellon,
a big ad. This is
that's
a...
no good.
That's no good.
You can get it mowing the lawn.
Oh, yeah, that's VB.
It's John Mellon, isn't it? It's John
Is it?
Yes, it wasn't a
You
famous
can get
actor.
it mowing the lawn. You can get
Remember
it.
they did that thing where he died, but they still use his voice? First bit of
really?
sort of AI, really. You can get it. Matter of fact, I've got it now.
Which means that it's a
Banana
man's
macho.
macho man. VB.
I love those ads.
Do you want to hear that?
Let's hear it right now.
You can get it riding. You can get it sliding. You can feel it coming on about 4. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. Vic Bitter.
Oh, there we go.
Just tell you that, do you reckon they could replay that ad with the same effect?
Yeah, or, we need to update it a bit like you can get it doing web design.
You can get it being an influencer.
You can,
You can get it driving your 4-wheel drive down the shops.
you can get it after 8 hours at the call centre. Matter of fact, I've got it now.
You
And then
can-
and the other guy going, oh, we're not drinking that. We're drinking craft beer now. Oh, of course. Craft beer. New craft beer with a hint of watermelon. Dun-dun-dun-dun. You deserve the best. All right, well, hangover and a rope. What is your suggestion? God, I have no idea. Hangover and a rope. The way to cure a hangover is to suck on a bit of rope.
Oh, what?
Is it?
Are you serious?
What else can I say?
Well, it is a hard one. I reckon there was a time, back in the Victorian time, if you were drunk, that they would, rather than let you go home, they would tie you up at the pub, make you stay there.
Oh, not in those bars where they would... Yeah, okay. Well, what is the answer, Sam?
Hangovers and the meaning behind it have become intertwined with rope. Very cheap form of Victorian-era accommodation was the penny hang. This was when very poor people would be kept off the street by sitting and being held up by a rope overnight while they slept. In the 1930s, author George Orwell referenced the 2-penny hang in one of his stories. This was for people who were drunk sleeping overnight. Then in 2020, a photo from the Great Train Robbery film circulated on social media. It showed people hanging over a rope sleeping that were clearly drunk. While the cheap accommodation and the original word hangover grew up independently, they have since become closely associated thanks to popular culture references.
Wow, I've seen it in a TV show.
You have been listening to Somehow Related with Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
We're doing this in a pub now, this podcast. Not a bad idea.
To have some rope here for the old drunks to...
To have some rope
Yeah.
here where you could you go, you know what, I don't feel like walking home. I'll get on that seat there and I'll lean over a bit of... Imagine that.
How many hours would
privileging.
you sleep doing that?
But I suppose...
Be
I
really
don't, why
drunk.
wouldn't you just sleep on the ground? But maybe, well, you're undercover. There's no padding,
It's disturbing.
Yeah.
It's disturbed me.
Yeah.
But I have seen it in a movie recently. What movie was I watching?
So
it was
you-
like Sherlock Holmes or something they were doing it.
It would have been a Victorian area,
Yeah.
I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes, maybe. They do
Yeah.
it. They have the guys on ropes. Oh, no, maybe it was The Adventures of Dick Turpin. It was something.
And they were leaning over the rope with
Yeah,
it?
yeah, they had a room where you could go
And-
lean over the rope.
Hence the terminology hangover.
Wow.
So there you go.
Learning stuff.
Have you got a hangover?
Learning stuff. I've got a joke about drinking. Do you want to hear my joke? This is a
Yes,
great joke. I love
yeah.
this joke.
Okay.
It's a guy's working in a beer factory, right, in the brewery, and he falls in the beer vat and drowns. It's an awful, awful disaster. And so the foreman's got to ring up the wife of the guy and rings him up and says, sorry to inform you, Mrs. So-and-so, but your husband has died here at the beer factory. He fell in the beer vat and drowned. And she said, oh, my God, did he suffer? And he goes, nah, he got out 3 times for a piss. Woo! It's a good one.